Welcome. I'd like to talk today about some thinking I've been doing about some advice I once got from an old girlfriend. I forget exactly what the issue was, but I suggested we do something. And her response was, yes, I think that's good. And I said, well, I thought it's good enough. And her response was to say, well, if we all settled for good enough, would anything be good enough? And that's worth thinking about, because this notion of good enough can be terribly liberating, and it can be terribly constricting, depending on what we're talking about. And it's a very good idea to know which category things fall in. For example, this cup. Pardon me while I have a little coffee. Is that cup good enough? Yes, I think the cup is good enough. It does the job of a cup. It works. It doesn't have to be the best cup in the world or be crafted in such and such a way to be functional. As a cup, it's a pretty good cup. It's certainly good enough. The car I have, yes, I think it's good enough. It gets me where I want to go and doesn't present problems and is largely comfortable. So I think those things are good enough. Now, by declaring something good enough, one liberates oneself from the problem of deciding, is it the best? Is it as good as it could be? Is it perfect? Do all of these other dimensions come into play? No, one can just step back and say, it's good enough. Yet there are some other areas of life when good enough just isn't good enough. I'm thinking primarily about relationships, or parenting, or education, or marriage for that matter. These are things about which if you said, well, it's good enough, it seems like so much has been left out, or you're short-circuiting yourself or limiting yourself from exploring the fundamentals or the highest levels or the possibilities of the things that you're involved with. People, education, careers, and so forth. Those things are ones that really can't be settled with, well, it's good enough. No. There's a time in life when you really need to strive for excellence, when you need to reach as high as you can, to overcome whatever obstacles they are in your path or that stand in your way, because the thing that you wish to do or achieve or be is really significant, really meaningful, and really important. Those things shouldn't be short-circuited by saying, well, my involvement is good enough. My achievement is good enough. That's a different category of things. Now, the key to whether knowing things are in category A, good enough is good enough, or category B, it's really worth striving for excellence, comes down to how much self-knowledge you have. And self-knowledge, as is so often the case, is the key to all of these dimensions. So instead of quickly sliding off a question like, is it good enough? Or am I achieving enough? Or do I pay enough attention to whatever? Think about what it really means to you, where it fits in your life, and where it falls in your hierarchy of importance. Then you can decide if it's good enough or whether it really needs to be strived for. Important decisions. I hope that's helpful.